I'm doing great. Well, first of all, congratulations on the film. This is your screenplay based on a true story, but as the intro said, based on mostly a true story.
Thank
So,
you.
what inspired you to put your story out there? Because the movie was great. It was hilarious.
Thank you so much. I'm a stand-up comic and I make my living off of talking about very real grounded things and making them relatable. And I don't have a lot of crazy things that happen to me. So this happened. And once I dealt with the pain and the betrayal that was, I was like, my first thought was like, people got to hear this because it's so hard to believe. And yet it's so simple. So I wanted to tell that story.
There was some slices of stand-up comedy in there, which gave like really great dating advice and dating stories. So for you as a comic and a stand-up comic, do you find it therapeutic to kind of get on stage and open up and to, talk about your real life?
Definitely. I think it's really important for comedians. It's a big part of who we are and how we kind of process our daily life. And so, to me, it was great to have Eliza's character be able to do that in stand-up because it just felt so true.
Oh, absolutely. You can be having the worst day and then you get on stage and you get off stage and it's just changed the chemical makeup of your brain. It's definitely cathartic. It's my favorite thing in the world. Being able to laugh at pain is the greatest gift. And it is something that helps us work through something. And so in writing this movie, it was a painful thing. And I made choices in my life to make sure I didn't pay that pain forward and that I would be healthy about it. But what I've come at the end to realize is that when I think about that time in my life, I don't think about that person. Now I think about Margaret Cho and Ryan Hansen and Kimmy Gatewood. And I think about my movie and this funny, honest thing that we made. And I think that's the best payoff in the end.
The movie touched on so many things about dating and all that good stuff. And you're married now, but when you were on the dating scene and maybe even before this character, did you have a checklist? And was it something that you had to, adjust when you were dating? And were you like, you know what, I'm going to take this off?
Fortunately and unfortunately, I got married very young. I got married at 22. So I never really did the dating scene because we dated for 4 years before that. But I have had friends that had, and I go through the process with them. And there's definitely a checklist. And sometimes when you're in it, you can't see it. There's blinders on. So that's why it's good to have a good group of friends like Margaret's character to kind of keep you in check.
Well, it just sort of depends. Like, I think that it's so hard to know exactly, like we have these ideas of who we want in our life, but then life surprises you and people can really surprise you. So I think that like what I find is, you just really have to trust your instincts and trust your friends, which is what this movie is all about, trusting both more than kind of what you think you want to do. But it's like really about instinctually like knowing what's right.
I think a part of what this movie deals with is the assumption that women who are a certain way, like however you look or we went to school, that they must want X, Y, and Z. And that was his biggest mistake, is that Dennis assumed because she was like a cute girl, she must be shallow. And going through life like that, putting these assumptions on people and not giving them a chance to show you who they are, I think that was his ultimate downfall. And so, again, it always comes back to authenticity. And I actually took part of that in writing her. It was important to me that she did stand up because for so many years I was told nobody wants to see you do stand up on TV or on a screen as a character. And now there's so many shows about it. And it's tough when you're labeled a strong woman. God forbid you go to school and like pay your way through life. You're almost maligned. And so I wanted to keep some vulnerability with her. And this is for all women out there. Like Andrea's much more like the average woman than the average rom-com girl is. You're not pathetic. You're not falling into a bush. You're not unlucky. And so this is a story about a girl who was just living her life on her own terms and did not need a lesson or to be taken down a peg. And I wanted that character to exist.
Dating apps are the thing right now, and it's a little weird and funky for single people. So for you in this amazing film, and you kind of looking back, what advice would you give to the single women out there who maybe found a dentist and may not be able to see the red flags at first?
It's actually, even though it's a painful thing, you want to be someone that trusts people and that goes along for that ride. You don't want to spend your life lying or thinking everyone is lying. You want to be honest and vulnerable, and you want to be a strong enough woman that when something does knock you down, you can get right back up. And so you're not picky. You are, let me just have a better way to phrase it. You're not picky. You like what you like. And only in this society do we tell women to give an ugly guy a chance. You never tell men like, she's a water buffalo. Well, she's really nice. So you're doing fine. And whatever you put out there, you get back.
Your character, she was the best friend, the ride or die, the best friend that I would want in my life, the girlfriend that I would want in my life. So for you in real life situations, did you ever have to find yourself rescuing a friend, or has anyone ever had to come to your rescue when it came to dating or meeting people?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've been in both roles. I think it's hard to see sometimes when it's your own life, but definitely it's easier to be a good friend and see it in somebody else's. So I've definitely played that role. So it felt very true to life to me.
Without giving anything away, what was it about his character that interests you that made you want to play him? Because he was great. I laughed.
Yeah. It's kind of fun because you kind of feel bad for him and you kind of like him in the beginning. And then as the movie goes on, you realize he's a sociopath and a little bit, well, he's a liar. So it was really fun to jump into that. And I got to wear fun teeth and like a little fat, or I don't know what it's called, a little pad on my gut, on top of my gut. So yeah, it was really fun. I loved it.
Where is the buzz?
Where is the buzz? You said
We used to be a
was
singer.
mine.